The drama begins when Yu wakes up with her mother on top of her, demanding the money she had hidden. They are drowning in debt, the creditors are pressuring them, and any chance to get cash turns into pure gold. That same day, they announce a swimming competition in the sea. The winner gets a prize of several $1,000s. For Yu, it's the only quick way to help at home, so she signs up without hesitation. On the way to the beach, she stops in front of a shop where a piano is on display. That instrument is the last memory she has of her late mother, and seeing it for sale stirs her up inside. The sign says it's already reserved, but Yu, with all the confidence in the world, tells the owner that she'll win the race that very day and come back to buy it. She asks him, please, not to sell it. In the competition, she meets Shan Juinhao in the most chaotic way possible. He arrives in a luxury boat to personally inspect some business near the island. Due to a careless moment, his boat hits a rock and he falls into the water. Right at that moment, Yu is leading the race, but she sees him sinking and, without thinking, abandons the event to rescue him. She manages to pull him out of the sea, but Juinhao isn't breathing. Yu gives him CPR clumsily, blowing hard. When he finally reacts, his first comment isn't gratitude, but a complaint about his rescuer's smell. She is instantly offended. She gave up the prize, almost drowned with him, and on top of that, he makes fun of her. She also feels that something very intimate was stolen from her. Her first kiss, even though it was actually just CPR. Enraged, she hands him a bill. She charges him the money from the prize she lost by leaving the race, the CPR, and the sentimental value of that kiss, adding it all up to an absurd amount. Juinhao, who has also lost his phone in the accident, has no way to pay her in that moment. Yu doesn't believe a word he says and, convinced he's a liar, forces him to give her his information on a piece of paper so he can take responsibility later. When she tries to contact him, the one who answers is his assistant, Dewei, who immediately hangs up, thinking it's a nuisance call. Yu assumes she's been scammed. No prize, no money, no piano. Just pent-up anger. Meanwhile, we get a calmer look at Shan Juinhao's world. He's the heir to the Senwell Group, a huge hotel conglomerate. He's engaged to Fan Uni, a well-educated woman who has been by his side for years, but their relationship is based more on family arrangements and expectations than on real passion. The project of the moment is to demolish the small hotel owned by Yu's father on the island, an old place that constantly loses money but is full of memories and affection for the town's residents. For Juinhao and the shareholders, it's just an obsolete building that gets in the way of their plans. For Tang Shunming, Yu's father, it's the home he built with sacrifice. The pressure on Tang Shunming becomes so intense that, in desperation, he goes as far as trying to hurt himself in front of everyone to stop the demolition. Juinhao, used to seeing problems as numbers in a report, doesn't fully understand that desperation, but the incident sticks with him. At the same time, Tai Chu appears on the scene, a kind-hearted rich heir and member of Senwell's board. Unlike Juinhao, Tai Chu mingles with the townspeople, eats with them, listens to their stories and takes a genuine interest in the hotel and in Yu. From the beginning, his warm attitude makes him a strong contrast to Juinhao's rigid character. While Yu racks her brain trying to figure out how to save the hotel, in the city Juinhao prepares his wedding with Uni. He plans to propose to her in a hot air balloon, with an expensive ring and a full romantic setup. For him, it's a logical step in the life he's built. During the balloon ride, Juinhao offers the ring to Uni with a speech about true love. Just as he's about to slide it onto her finger, a gust of wind destabilizes the basket. The ring slips from his hands and disappears into the sea. The situation gets even more complicated when the balloon begins to descend dangerously toward the beach area where Yu lives. The emergency landing ends near the town. Uni and Juinhao survive, but the ring seems lost forever. Later, walking along the sand, Yu finds a shiny ring buried near her feet. She puts it on, almost out of curiosity, and discovers it fits perfectly. Without knowing it's Juinhao's engagement ring, she feels that maybe luck is finally starting to turn in her favor. When they cross paths again, Yu recognizes Juinhao, the CPR man, the debtor who didn't pay her. He tries to explain himself, offers half-hearted apologies, but everything becomes unbalanced when Yu discovers that the wedding he's preparing is connected to the same group that wants to demolish her father's hotel. Amid misunderstandings, someone buys the piano Yu cherished so much and sends it back to the shop as an anonymous gift. She believes it was Tai Chu, since he knew how important that instrument was to her. In reality, behind that gesture is Juinhao's guilt, which starts to soften as he sees Yu's honest tears when she thinks she has lost the piano forever. The day of Juinhao and Uni's wedding arrives. Everything is ready. Guests, venue, outfits, photographer. On the way to the ceremony, Juinhao drives to a secluded area to pick up a replacement ring. Without his knowledge, a desperate Tang Shunming follows him by car, convinced that if Juanhao disappears, maybe Senwell will abandon the hotel's demolition. At a critical moment, Tang's car hurls itself toward Juanhao's. To avoid a bigger tragedy, Juanhao swerves sharply, but a truck appears head-on. He tries to dodge it, loses control, and his car plunges into the sea. From the shore, some witnesses see the vehicle sinking. The news spreads fast. The future CEO's car has gone into the water. At the venue, the wedding is officially cancelled with the excuse of a serious illness in the family. Few know the truth about the accident. The family and the company pull strings to control the information, while rescue teams comb the sea without finding the missing man. In parallel, that same night, Chenyu is driving near a lonely road when, suddenly, a staggering man throws himself in front of her car. She slams on the brakes. He collapses on the ground, unconscious, with his head bleeding. When they bring him home, they discover that man is Shan Juanhao, only without memories. When he wakes up, he doesn't know who he is, where he comes from, or what he was doing there. He sees the paper where he himself had written his information before, but with his mind blank, he latches onto the name he manages to decipher: Tang Hao. For Chenyu and her family, it's as if heaven had sent them a strange chance. The man who owes them money is now a complete stranger who only knows for sure that he owes them something. Chenyu's mother decides to take him in out of pity, but also out of need. He, grateful and lost, agrees to do any job to pay off the debt. Thus, the feared general manager of Senwell becomes a clumsy helper in the town's little shop, with no luxury suits or driver, just a new name: Tang Hao. With his memory wiped, Tang Hao shows a very different personality. Instead of the cold CEO, a simple, hard-working, and surprisingly gentle man emerges. He organizes the store, fixes things, tends customers, cooks what he can. His perfectionist streak remains, but it blends with the warmth he learns from living with Chenyu and her family. To pay off the debt, he offers to take a job abroad. Without knowing it, that job in Indonesia is a labor trafficking trap. Chenyu's mother, blinded by financial urgency, almost lets him go. When she sees on the news that this employment agency is linked to a dangerous network, Chenyu runs to the pier, limping from an earlier ankle injury, and reaches him just as he's boarding the ship. There aren't enough life jackets. The ship is already moving and no one wants to stop it. Tang Hao, confused by Chenyu's screams, jumps into the sea without knowing how to swim, in an irrational impulse. She dives in after him, rescues him for the second time, and again gives him CPR. That scene brings back the theme of the first kiss. For her, it's still a sensitive issue; for him, a strange mix of embarrassment and gratitude. This time, however, instead of mocking her, he's struck by Chenyu's real fear of losing him. Over these days, their relationship grows closer. They share delivery trips, a fall together into a forest pit that forces them to spend the night trapped, nervous laughter as dolphins appear at dawn, and hugs that start as comfort and feel more and more natural. In these small moments, Tang Hao, without remembering his past life, creates a new one with Chenyu. But time doesn't stop. The hotel conflict is still there, like a dark cloud over the town. Sunwell keeps pushing to demolish the island hotel and build a modern resort. Mr. Tang Shunming is on the verge of collapse, and the town is divided between those who need the money and those who want to keep their home. Tai Chu, who has gotten to know the island's people, tries to help with more balanced proposals, but the company wants quick results. In the middle of this tension, the legend of the white dolphin emerges, a protected species that, according to fishermen, used to appear near the island. If it can be proven that it still lives in the area, the construction would be legally blocked. Chenyu, Tai Chu, and Tang Hao team up to look for evidence. They prepare dives, cameras, boat trips, and plenty of arguments. Tang Hao isn't a great swimmer, but with a wetsuit he manages to keep up. On one of these expeditions, an accident happens. A rope comes loose, he falls into a pit, hits his head, and gets injured. Before he loses strength, he insists that Chenyu take the dolphin evidence to the authorities before it's too late. She arrives at the meeting just in time, stands in front of Senwell's top executives and, with photos and videos in hand, lists the laws that protect the species. If they knock down a single stone from the hotel, they'll have to answer to the government. That move stops the demolition and, for the first time, the little hotel and the town have a real break. For Chenyu, Tang Hao is no longer just a guest with amnesia or a debtor. He's the man who has stayed by her side through the worst decisions and who has fought for her home even without knowing who he was before. After the incident in the pit and the blows to his head, Shan Juanhao's memories start to shift inside him. They don't come back all at once, but in flashes. Images of the Senwell building, of Uni, of his mother, of suits, meetings, and documents. These glimpses unsettle him. By a twist of fate, Qianyu ends up traveling to the city and going to work for the Senwell Group, first at one of the chain's hotels and then as support staff. She wants to learn how to run a hotel business to strengthen the one on the island, without knowing she's stepping into the heart of the empire that almost destroyed her home. At the city hotel, Qianyu suffers harassment from an important reporter who thinks he's entitled to everything. She defends herself as best she can and ends up slapping him. The scandal is big. The man threatens to sue Senwell for mistreating a customer. The company tries to force Qianyu to apologize, but Shan Juanhao, who has already resumed part of his role as CEO, decides to see what's going on with his own eyes. Foreseeing disaster, Qianyu had secretly recorded everything. When Juanhao confronts her, she shows him the video of the harassment. He, who still hasn't fully reconciled his memories of life as Tang Hao, feels a strange mix of déjà vu and genuine anger at seeing her humiliated. He calls a press conference, plays the recording in front of everyone, and makes it clear that Senwell doesn't tolerate that kind of behavior. The hotel's reputation rises and Qianyu becomes, unintentionally, a key piece in an image turnaround. Meanwhile, Juanhao's family and the board of directors are still locked in an internal war over shares, projects, and their parents' legacy. In the middle of it are Su Ziqian, Yuni's childhood friend, and also Zhang Minghan, an executive with his own ambitions. The dark past of Mr. Zhou, the man linked to the death of Ziqian's parents, and an old boat accident involving a bomb slowly come to light. With all the back and forth between city and town, the relationship between Juanhao and Qianyu grows more and more complex. He remembers enough now to know he was a distant CEO, that he was about to marry Yuni, and that the company has caused a lot of harm. At the same time, he can't erase the genuine feelings he developed as Tang Hao, working in the shop and living in Qianyu's house. She, for her part, is torn between the warm memory of Tang Hao and the cold reality of Shan Juanhao, who seems to exist on a level very different from hers. The ring she found on the beach, Juanhao and Yuni's old engagement ring, is still stuck on her finger with no way to remove it, as if fate were determined to remind her that her story is tied to his. Yuni sees how, little by little, the man she loved drifts away emotionally. Although he tries to fulfill what he believes is his responsibility, his heart is already leaning toward Qianyu. This tension explodes at parties, scenes of jealousy, photos leaked to the press, and family confrontations. In one of these crises, Qianyu decides to take a step back. She feels that getting closer to Juanhao will only hurt Yuni, the company, and everyone else. In parallel, Tai Chu continues quietly supporting Qianyu. He's in love with her, dreams of traveling the world together, and even plans to go abroad with her so she can start a new life far from Senwell's mess. Qianyu cares deeply for him, but her heart doesn't fully let go. Part of her stays anchored to Tang Hao, the man she met in the village. While feelings get more tangled, things inside Senwell get worse. It comes to light that Zhou, resentful over the suspicious death of his parents and the forced sale of his shares, plans to sell the company to rival Marv and leave the country with all the money. He has recordings, contracts, and dangerous people behind him. Juanhao discovers the plan and goes all in on a very risky operation. On the day of the exchange, a group of thugs meets with Zhou in a private club to close the deal, and they collect everyone's phones so no one can call for help. Qianyu, who has managed to infiltrate disguised as a pizza delivery girl, enters the place with a box in her hands. She takes advantage of a distraction, knocks the gun out of Marv's leader's hand and throws it to Juanhao. He catches it and points it at the mobsters, but another guard grabs Qianyu from behind. In the struggle, she bites the guy holding her and breaks a bottle over the gang leader's head, plunging everything into chaos. They shove her hard, she hits her head and falls unconscious. Right at that moment, the police burst in, alerted by Dawei and by the few calls that managed to slip through. The illegal deal collapses. Zhou ends up facing his guilt and doors open to clear up the real story of Ziqian's parents and the Zhang family. The operation saves Senwell but leaves an unexpected consequence. When Qianyu wakes up in the hospital, she recognizes her family, Tai Chu, Mr. Tang, but not Shan Juanhao. All the memories related to him, including her life with Tang Hao, are buried. It's as if the accident had cut out only that piece of her heart. Juanhao, on the other hand, remembers everything now. The cold CEO life, the fall into the sea, the days in the shop, the nights in the pit, the dolphin island, the stuck ring, and every moment he shared with her. The man who at first didn't know how to say thanks for a rescue now finds himself in front of the woman he loves, and who looks at him like a stranger. Seeing the emptiness in Qianyu's eyes breaks Juanhao's heart. Tai Chu, who knows the whole story, understands that pushing now will only confuse her more. With painful maturity, he promises Juanhao that if he takes good care of Qianyu, he will leave without getting in the way. He leaves the island with a tight heart, turning into that kind of character who earns everyone's affection precisely because he knows when to let go. At the same time, the truth about the death of Zhou's parents, The forced sale of shares and the dirty moves by some board members comes to light. Determined to break with the injustices of the past, Juinhao returns shares, gives up power and faces his family's responsibility. His mother's house ends up sealed off by investigations, and he, without money or immediate privileges, experiences the most vulnerable side of life firsthand. It's Qianyu who, once again, offers him a roof and food, although this time she doesn't feel the same for him as before. She sees him as a man who needs help, nothing more. He accepts that distance but doesn't lose hope. He's grateful for every meal, every gesture, every small word, convinced that even if her memory is broken, Qianyu's heart holds some echo. Far from them, Yuni also has her own journey. After emotionally breaking down over losing Juinhao and the public scandal, she receives therapeutic support, faces past traumas and comes to understand that clinging to someone who no longer loves her only hurts her. With Ziqian's help, she learns to let go and look for a life of her own, without living off old promises. With Zhou out of play and the shady plan stopped, the hotel project changes course. Instead of destroying it to build a nameless resort, they decide to use its history and its connection to the White Dolphin to turn it into a special tourist destination. Even from a distance, Tai Chu helps promote it as a famous blogger and traveler, Dideo, giving the town a kind of publicity it never could have afforded. Qianyu officially takes charge of the hotel alongside Mr. Tang Shunming. She uses everything she learned in the city: customer service, crisis management, social media, themed events. The little hotel that was once nearly demolished now gets reservations from everywhere, with White Dolphin plushies at the front desk and a warm atmosphere that charms visitors. Juinhao works shoulder to shoulder with them, no longer as a suited CEO, but as a man who chose to start over. At first, Qianyu's family looks at him with suspicion, but over time they see that his change is real. He's not the haughty boss who came wanting to knock down everyone's home. He's the same Tang Hao who carried boxes, painted walls and worried about whether Qianyu was eating. Little by little, even though she doesn't remember every scene exactly, she starts to feel that strange familiarity that slips in between one dish and another, between a silly joke and a shared silence. There are moments when something in her chest speeds up for no logical reason, as if some memory wanted to peek out. In the midst of the hotel routine, Juinhao decides it's time to stop living only on remorse and move into action. He invites Qianyu on a simple date around town. A walk in the park, games, photos on a swing, and all those little things she loved when he was Tang Hao, even if she doesn't know it now. They buy wish cards, write jokes and promises, seal some of them with their fingerprints, as if marking the start of a new chapter. On one of those cards, Qianyu jokingly writes that all of Juinhao's money will become hers. He laughs and signs it anyway, happy to see her having fun. Another card demands a kiss as payment, and the two of them end up drawing close again, no longer through the filter of the past, but as two people choosing each other in the present. Juinhao also takes her to a forest they nicknamed Enchanted, the setting for several of their earlier adventures. She doesn't remember it exactly, but the place moves her. That mix of déjà vu and tenderness makes her cry without fully understanding why. There, in front of a Ferris wheel, he reminds her very gently that once she dreamed of riding one of those with the person she loved. This time, he invites her to fulfill that wish with him. At the top, Qianyu asks if everything he does is just acting, another role. He answers with actions. He kisses her, speaks to her honestly, and tells her that no matter what happens with her memory, he's not going to let her go. She, who has fought so hard against what she feels, begins to give in to the obvious. Her heart has always responded to him, whatever name he has. Meanwhile, the famous ring remains an important symbol. After many attempts, Qianyu, furious in one of her outbursts, finally manages to take it off her finger and throws it into the sea, as if cutting every tie with the past. That gesture hurts, but it also marks a turning point. From then on, their decisions no longer depend on fate or an object, but on what they both choose to do with what they feel. Even as the feelings between Qianyu and Juinhao become clearer, the outside world doesn't stay still. The media, the shareholders, Juinhao's mother and the past with Yuni keep pushing from all sides. Scandals over old photos, criticism of their difference in social class and corporate responsibilities all threaten what they're building. In one of the most tense moments, during a wedding that no longer has the same meaning as before, an accident with a collapsing decorative structure almost ends in tragedy. Qianyu throws herself forward to protect Juinhao and Yuni, taking the hits in their place. With everyone ending up in the hospital, it becomes clear to all who has been willing to risk everything again and again. Seeing this, Yuni finally understands that clinging to Juinhao would only keep her tied to a love that no longer exists. She decides to truly let him go and begins her own path of healing, supported by Ziqian. Juinhao's mother, for her part, also lets down her guard. Watching her son give up shares, face justice for past mistakes, and choose to stay at a small-town hotel forces her to rethink what success really means. Slowly, things fall into place. Zhou pays for his crimes, the company's shares are reorganized more fairly, the town's hotel is protected from new demolition attempts, and the white dolphin becomes the official symbol of the place. Months later, when wounds have healed and the hotel's daily life flows with tourists, laughter, music, and freshly baked bread, the day of Shan Juanhao and Yi Qianyu's wedding arrives. There are no over-the-top luxuries or crystal halls. Everything happens near the sea, in that setting that brought them together from the start. Juanhao is nervous. Right before the ceremony, he realizes that the ring he prepared was left in another suit that Dawei took away by mistake. No one has a spare band and time is running out. Even so, the wedding begins. Qianyu walks toward him, her heart calm for the first time in a long while. When she reaches Juanhao, she feels something at her foot. She looks down and finds, caught between her sandals, the same ring she had thrown into the sea some time ago. That ring that survived falls, storms, accidents, misunderstandings, and farewells. She picks it up, hands it to Juanhao, and both understand that no matter how many twists the story took, they always ended up finding each other again. He slips it onto her finger, this time fully aware of what it means. There are no empty promises or imposed family arrangements, just the free decision of two people who chose each other through loss, amnesia, and second chances. They look at each other with a peace they never had before and seal their story with a kiss, surrounded by their families, friends, hotel staff, and even some guests who already feel like part of the household. And so, with the sound of the sea, the idea that the white dolphin is still out there, and the certainty that what they lived through doesn't disappear even if memory fails, the drama closes. A story where a cold CEO had to forget everything to learn how to love, and a town girl discovered that her greatest treasure was never the piano or the hotel, but the love that was born when she decided to rescue a stranger who was sinking in the sea. End of the drama.